So I wanted to talk about something, and uh, if you can guess by the title, I've kind of touched on this subject before, but something keeps popping up for me lately, and I feel like, excuse me, it is probably something that I need to share. Every single time I wear this shirt, this is not what I wanted to share, but I'm just noticing every time I wear this shirt, I keep forgetting, do not wear this. It makes me look so much wider, and I still keep wearing it. I don't know if I need to trash it or what I need to do. Because, like, it looks like, anyway. Okay. So I was watching a video, and it's something that came up on my timeline, and I didn't want to, not that I didn't want to watch it. I don't even know what possessed me to watch it, but it was something obviously I feel like I needed to watch. And I was kind of drifting in and out of sleep while I was listening to it. Um, and I caught some things that I was just like, wow, this is reminding me of something. So this is going to be an informative slash story time, um, informational type of video, because I had mentioned, and I don't even know what video it was, to be honest, I can't remember, that I had been getting like little signs and stuff like that, and not really paying attention to whether or not they're real signs or if it's something that is just, I'm noticing it. But I guess I should, regardless, look into it if it's something that I don't know, if it's something that I need to pay attention to or not. So this lady's video, I don't even remember the title of it. Maybe I'll insert the title, but I'm going to put both videos. The one of them I haven't watched yet, and I didn't really want to watch it, but since I watched the other lady's video, I'm going to watch the other one. And I'm going to put both links in the description in case you're interested. So this is about world events, okay? So basically, I had mentioned in one of the videos where I titled it, I think it was about like premonitions or dreams or recurring dreams, things like that, whether or not it was actually trying to tell me something or if it was just a dream. And the fact that like years later, now people are talking about stuff that I was dreaming about makes me wonder if there really is something going on. And I don't even know where to begin. I don't know what to put in. I don't know what to leave out. I don't know if there's things that are personal that I shouldn't be talking about, or I really don't even know. I'm just completely lost right now. But let me start here. So, um, all the stuff is kind of, oh, this keeps happening. I don't know. I'm always banging into stuff. I actually found out what that means too. That's actually a spiritual thing too. Let me keep my hands to myself. Okay. So, a lot of things that have been going on in terms of like natural disasters and things like that. I remember last year, early last year, I think is when there was like a lot of floods and stuff. And I remember saying to myself out loud as I was watching it, I said, I feel like God is doing like a cleansing. I don't know why I felt that way. I didn't really put much thought into it. I just said it out loud, almost like, like a, no disrespect, but almost like a Tourette's type of thing. I just was like, I feel like God is doing a cleansing. Just like blurted out of my mouth. And I was just like, okay. If he's doing a cleansing, then he's doing a cleansing. But I felt like that's what it represented. I'm like, why are all these floods coming from all of a sudden? And then started, recently with the wildfires. And now there's people who are talking about there's going to be like earthquakes and all these different things and people who live, in the center of the earth and all. I'm just like, this is a lot. Slow down. Slow down. And then even with me getting that message the other day, that made me feel like I needed to investigate it a little bit more because it seemed a little odd. I don't know. I'm just like, did I really ask for this life? Did I really ask for this? I don't know how much longer I'm going to have to do this or if I'm going to have to do it or whatever. But let me just say what I was going to say. So, yeah, this person was talking about like just again channeled messages about a whole bunch of different things. Like I said, I'm going to leave the link if you guys want to watch it. Some of the things she was talking about again were about just basically natural disasters. Something about like not a worldwide power outage, but just basically whether it be different countries at the same time or certain things like that. Just about like outages. And I personally mentioned how I think something was trying to get my attention in regards to like emergencies. Because I kept seeing for a while, and it happened again, where I just kept seeing these things that are related to emergencies. And I'm like, obviously, I'm seeing this for a reason because where is this coming from all of a sudden? So I was seeing like a lot of emergency kits, safety kits, commercials about safety kits, commercials about safety in general. Like literally before I actually just hit record, I saw another commercial that was talking about safety. It was about safety with your food and like, not leaving it out too long without putting it in the refrigerator after you cook it and things like that. So the safety theme continues. I was at the store the other day and I was walking down an aisle that just had books. And there's randomly, I don't know if it was just like I don't want to say a prop, but it's kind of like, people will have like those hollow books. So it's not actually a real book. You can like store stuff in like little notes or whatever, right? So it was like something similar to that, but it was actually like a safety kit. I think it might have been like like markers or pencils or something like that. But again, it was just a white kit that said safety in red with the little cross on it. And I was just like, why does this safety thing keep jumping out at me? Like I keep hearing about safety, safety, safety. Another thing that's been popping up for me has to do with like camping. And I thought that perhaps the camping message was like, oh, maybe I might go camping soon. Maybe somebody might invite me camping. But I think that that could still possibly be the case, or maybe it might be twofold, where it's like you need to prepare as if you were going camping. So whatever things that you would normally take with you. I've never been camping before. Actually, no, that's a lie. I went camping when I was like a kid, like for what do you call it? I was say daycare. What is it called? Camp. Forgive me. Yes, when I was in summer camp, we actually went camping. So yeah, that's what I meant to say. So yeah, I have been camping, but it wasn't like a hardcore. Like we only did one night of sleepover, and yeah. So anyways, I think it was just trying to say like, prepare yourself as if you were to go camping. So if you were to go camping, what kind of stuff would you need, or what kind of stuff would you want to bring? So I'm trying to figure out, do I need to prepare myself in this way? Because another thing that's been coming up, a message that I keep getting from my guides is you need to save for an event. There's an event coming up that you're gonna need to save for. They're not telling me what it is, but they're saying you need to save for it. And another thing that this lady mentioned in her video about the power outage, and something that I actually considered, was that if there is a power outage, you might not have access to your money, because who knows what's good. That's something that always kind of keeps me from technology. Okay, so I studied public relations and publicity. I actually was initially gonna go for like a business degree. Actually, let me not get into all that. But the point that I'm trying to say is that through marketing, through PR and stuff like that, I learned a lot, and a lot of things were confirmed for me. And why did I even touch on that subject? Wait, I totally just lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Why did I touch on the subject of that? Why was I thinking about that? What does that have to do with, oh my gosh, why did I lose my train of thought? One second, hold on. Sorry. I totally just drew a blank. I don't even know where my mind went. It just went somewhere else. Okay, so yeah, so my point of mentioning that is I remember learning the terms latent adapter and early adapter. Those are the two terms that I'm going to reference right now. So basically, an early adapter is somebody who, when like a new anything comes out, they're like the first person on it. Anything to do with like technology. Oh my gosh, the new iPhone. Oh my gosh, the new whatever. Why do I keep thinking about iPhone? I don't know why I keep bringing up iPhone lately. I think because I need to get a new phone, and I'm just trying to decide, should I switch out of like Android and like finally just take the plunge? Because I had mentioned I'm the kind of person, I don't like having what everybody else has. And as soon as everybody started switching over to getting Samsung, I was like, I don't want it anymore. I got issues. Okay, so just basically early adapters are the kind of people that as soon as anything new in technology comes out, they want it, they jump on it, they don't wait. But a latent adapter is someone like me, where I want to see, how does this thing work? Because I noticed that especially with phones, they always come out with like, there's one version, and then 6 months later there's like a 1.5. It's like they open that, and that one usually fixes certain bugs and different things like that after they see how it works. So it's like I'm the kind of person that'll wait and see how something goes before I actually jump and go into it. But then there's other people who are like, oh my gosh, this brand new that, and they're just like on it. They don't care, whatever, new PS17, whatever number they're on with that. Whatever PlayStation they're on now, I don't even know. I don't keep track of those things. I've just been in my own world for the last like 4 or 5 years, so I have no idea what's going on. Um, so yeah. Um, so why do I keep losing my train of thought? This is so weird. My mind just keeps going blank for some reason. I've been having a lot of interferences lately. Someone is screwing with me so bad. I swear, it's just like it's annoying now. Um, okay, so I'm talking about um I think I was trying to get to the point that it just takes me a while to like decide things before I actually do it. I'm not the kind of person that's just like immediately would jump on something. And you would think, because I am a Gemini, well, that's my sun sign anyway, that you would think that I would be the kind of person that, is like super spontaneous. Oh my gosh, let's go here, let's go do this and let's do that. And I used to be, but I had enough experiences where it's like I had to have a plan B, C, D, E, F, G that made me how I am now, that I'm trying to kind of get out of it. I kind of eased my way out of it a little bit, but I'm still kind of in that energy of, with all the experiences that I had, it kind of made me the kind of person that's so apprehensive about stuff like, okay, I can't spend all my money that I have allotted for this because what if this happens? Because I've had so many of those instances, so it's changed my behavior naturally, right? But I also have to accept that those circumstances happened because I was in certain situations, and those situations don't exist for me anymore. So it's like, safe to revert back to what was working for you before and what was more of a fun, exciting life, rather than like worrying about every little detail and needing to know every little detail before you make a move. So that again, like kind of segues into something that I'll do later, which is, again, I mentioned it a million times, the triggers and shadow work, and like when you get triggered by things. So back to, I'm gonna have to chop and screw this, I feel, because I've been talking for like 12 minutes and I haven't really said much of anything, other than talking about the safety thing that keeps popping up for me. So I'm trying to figure out, am I being warned in advance about something that's going to happen? Because like I said, a lot of the dreams that I had in the past, people are talking about them now, and these are dreams I had years ago. So what I wanted to share briefly was the story about like the pandemic and how I became aware of the pandemic. So during that time, so this was in 2019. This is before one of the people that I'm no longer friends with, because um, I had, I heard around October of 2019, I saw it on the news. I saw something about some kind of virus, and I was just like, okay, I'm not really paying too much attention to it because I had other things going on. And then I heard about it again towards the end of the year. Then in the beginning of the year, again, I had a lot of stuff going on, and I was actually preparing for some stuff that I had to deal with. So when that was all said and done, that was like in the middle of February. And I was so burnt out. I was so drained from everything that I had experienced. I literally was like in bed for like 2 weeks. Like I had to take time off of work and everything. I had no energy. I could not function. So I was in bed for like 2 weeks. And when I say in bed, I mean like I wasn't like bedridden. It's like just basically I just had no energy to do anything. I wouldn't call it depression because it wasn't really depression. I was just depleted. So I didn't really have the energy to do much. So I was trying to like regather myself and everything like that. So what happened was, I remember going to the store, and this actually dates back 2 years, almost 2 years. I think it was like a year and a half, but almost 2 years prior to the pandemic. I remember going into the dollar store, and they had this little kind of fish bowl. Well, first it was like actually like a little display, and they reduced it down to like a fish bowl of Purell. And it was like two for $1. And I'm like, I'm not going to buy Purell because I don't use hand sanitizer. Actually, a friend of mine on my birthday, she got me like this little gift basket full of like, like lotions and soaps and all these different types of stuff. And there was a hand sanitizer in it, and I never used it. I had it for like 3 years. I never touched it because I don't use hand sanitizer. I just don't feel like it works. So I always walk around with like these little like wet naps or whatever you want to call it, these little wet wipes. Before they had the ones that are antibacterial, because I just felt like if you have some kind of friction when you're rubbing your hands, like I feel like it does more than just putting like a little alcohol on your hands. And I think Dr. Oz did like a little experiment. If I can find that video, because I think it's still online. This was pre-pandemic as well, because there was a lady from New York, and she's like, she takes the subway every day, and she's always holding on to the handlebars on the subway, and because of that, she's constantly using hand sanitizer, and she wanted to know if it's actually helping. So they did this whole thing, a little experiment, and they washed one hand, put hand sanitizer on the other hand, and you can obviously imagine that washing your hands would be more effective than hand sanitizer. But the drastic difference was crazy. I was like, really, there is no point putting on hand sanitizer. Do what you choose, but based on what I saw, and I was just like, see, this is why I felt like there really is not doing anything, because you're not rubbing any, like I know that alcohol is supposed to maybe kill the germs or something like that, but I don't know. I'm not saying hand sanitizer doesn't work. I'm not saying Purell doesn't work. I'm just saying that for me, it just didn't fit logically for me. So the reason why I'm telling you this long story about Purell, or let me just not even say that, let me just say hand sanitizer, is that almost 2 years before the pandemic, something kept telling me to buy it. Now, this is pre me being obedient, like I say, like when something tells me to do it, just do it. Don't ask no questions, just do it. So something was telling me to buy the hand sanitizer, and I just wouldn't do it. And it was in the part of the store where, like when you're about to leave and you're standing in line and they have all those little last minute, get your attention, try to buy, impulse little things. So they kept moving it closer to that aisle. And then they eventually ended up putting it on the counter by the register. And I still, like, I kept looking at it, and I'm just like, something kept saying, buy it, buy it, buy it. And I'm just like, why? I don't use it. I already have one at home, and I haven't touched it in 3 years. Like, why? And I didn't do it. Fast forward again now, like I said, so we're back in February. I'm out of bed. I'm out of bed, and I'm going to the store. As I'm walking through the store, I see, I was walking through the grocery store actually, and to walk into the mall. And as I was walking through the grocery store, I saw a stand, and it had like Lysol for sale. So I don't know how much, like, let's say Lysol is like $6. It was on sale for like $3. And I'm like, should I buy Lysol? I'm like, nah, I don't need that. I'm talking about the Lysol wipes. I'm like, I have one under my kitchen sink. I've had it there for like 2 years. I don't use it. Because that's not really for cleaning. That's kind of like little spot things. And when I clean. So I'm just like, I just had it there for like like little incidentals, we'll say. So as I was walking, and I walked through the grocery store, and now I'm in the mall, and I saw another store, and they had a stand, and they were selling Clorox, the Clorox wipes. And I'm like, it just kind of stuck out to me, like, why am I seeing all these wipes everywhere? Like, what is this about? And I was like, oh yeah, usually when somebody puts something on sale, like one store puts something on sale, the other store will put something on sale as competition. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe that's what it is. So I just minded my business. I actually was headed to the bank. So on the way back from the bank, I took the same route coming back out. And again, I saw the Clorox, and I'm like, okay. And again, I saw the Lysol, and I'm like, all right. Maybe when I go to the grocery store, if it's still there, I might just get it just in case, because it's on sale. It's not really a big deal. It was like maybe a day or two later, again, I'm walking through the same grocery store, and I see everybody with their shopping carts, and their carts are like overflowing. Like everything's packed to like the ceiling with their in their shopping carts. And I'm like, is it a long weekend? Because I completely lost track of like the time, the day, everything, because of everything that was going on. I was so overwhelmed and stressed out. I did not even know what time of the day it was or what day of the week it was. I was just out of it. So I was like, maybe it's a long weekend, or maybe it's a Friday. I thought like today was, like, let's say, for example, Wednesday. I'm like, why is everybody like buying? Because like I've mentioned before, whenever it's a long weekend, for some reason, people act like it's an apocalypse and they clear off the shelves. And I'm like, why do they do that all the time? Like every single time, every long weekend, they do that. So again, I was walking through, and I'm just like, I noticed it, and I still didn't pay attention. I still saw the stand with the Lysol, And again, I still saw the other store with the Clorox. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? I'm like, okay, you know what? Tomorrow when I do my grocery shopping, I'll get some. Next day I go, the shelves are empty. There's nothing on the shelves. No water, no rice, no pasta, no canned goods, nothing. The Clorox and the Lysol all gone. And I'm like, what the? I was like, what is going on? I'm like, what? It literally looked like the store was like moving and they just emptied everything out of the store. And I was like, what is going on? So after I get back home and I was watching television and the premier of Ontario was like, he was deciding whether or not, oh, I totally missed a part, but the premier of Ontario was deciding whether or not he was going to do impose a lockdown. And I forgot this part. There's a blog that I used to watch, a YouTube blog page that I used to watch, and this girl was talking about the lockdown. And at this time, I think it was in California. And she said, like, you know, she's a bit of a conspiracy theorist, and she's just like, yeah, they're just doing this, and they're because they want to impose martial law, and they want to do this, and they want to do that. And I was just kind of like, okay, girl, calm down, like, calm down. So I didn't really pay attention to it other than the fact that I'm like, okay, if they actually do a lockdown, then Canada's going to follow. Because I don't know what, it's like, for me, I feel like Canada's like monkey see, monkey do. As soon as the US does something, it's like Canada follows. And I don't know of any connection between Canada and the US other than NAFTA. And I don't know if that still is actually a thing. So I remember with the whole Trump thing that was an issue. I think it still exists as far as I know. Like the North American Free Trade Agreement, like certain things are able to be traded without tax between the US and Canada. So I was like, okay, but there's certain things that, I don't know, I just find that are copied. Like when the US does it, then Canada does it. So I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. Now Canada's for sure going to do it. Because if anything happens in the US, they're going to just do it. I don't know, like, again, like the inner workings and, you know, all the conspiracy theories or government things. Like, I don't know those levels of stuff. So I don't know if maybe there is some sort of other reason why there's things that are kind of, they follow suit. But I was like, oh shoot, they're definitely going to do a lockdown. So the premier said in 2 days, he's going to announce whether there's a lockdown. And if there is a lockdown, he's going to give people at least like a week before he shuts everything down so people can get whatever supplies that they need. So I was like, oh shoot, what am I going to do? So all that to say that I was getting hints about the lockdown with, you know, telling me to buy the hand sanitizer. And that's not really a big deal to like anybody. Like you might not think, hey, something's telling you to buy hand sanitizer, but it's the fact that that's something I don't use. It's something like seeing the Clorox, seeing the Clorox, seeing that being drawn to it, and why would that stand out more than anything else that was on sale? Like it was just kind of like, I don't know, it's just like weird little hints. But like I said, this started happening like a year and a half, almost 2 years before, that something kept telling me like Purell, Purell, Purell. And when I get messages, again, it's not like so direct. It's kind of almost like a hidden message. So let's say, for example, I might dream about a candle. It's not necessarily that I'm being shown the candle. There's a deeper meaning behind it. Some are very like direct. Like I told the story about my fingernails and how it was very like almost to a T exactly what happened, but there was still symbolism in it. And the dream I had about the dentist and how that actually happened. But again, it was symbolic. There were other things, people that I've never met before that were in those dreams, but it was all symbolic. So again, the Purell thing was symbolic with the sanitizer, just in general. And then the fact that, you know, if I had bought sanitizer, that might start making me think about something else. But again, I wasn't really tapped in. I wasn't really thinking about things. I wasn't as connected to, you know, my angels, my guides, God, whatever you want to say. I mean, I've always been connected to God, but I mean, like, not in that way. I was not all the way tapped in because like my mind was just elsewhere. So I'm trying to figure out now, why is it that I keep getting drawn to these emergency stuff? And then now there's these people that are putting out all these videos about things that they think are going to happen in terms of like world issues. And this has been going on for a while now. And I keep like skipping those videos because I don't want to like live in fear about something. And this thing I was seeing about the camping thing, I'm like, what does the camping thing have to, like, what does that mean? I've been seeing this camping thing for over a year. I keep seeing RVs in my neighborhood. I keep seeing images of fishing, people fishing, just everything involved in camping. And like I said, it's like almost like trying to say to me, oh, there's something else I want to mention too, but it's almost like it was trying to say to me, whatever you would normally use for camping, like those survival things, have that stuff ready. That's the way I'm interpreting it right now, because I'm like, I don't know why I keep seeing this. Like, I could see anything under the sun, but I keep seeing these emergency things, these commercials related to the emergency stuff. So I was just thinking like maybe it might mean something. I think it does, but it doesn't hurt to prepare yourself just in case. Um, I just said I remembered something and then I forgot it again. See, I don't know what's going on with my head right now. My mind is almost like drawing complete blanks. Um, what was it? I'm sorry, y'all. Give me a second. I don't know why this is happening. I'm sorry. I don't know. I think somebody's playing with me. I think I know why, but I can't talk about it right now. Anyway, when I say playing with me, I feel like just trying to affect my memory, trying to, I don't know. Anyway, let me not get into that. I'm so sick of talking about this spiritual shit. Like, I'm sorry. I'm tired of it. I'm just annoyed. I just wanted to hurry up. Like, whatever's supposed to happen, just hurry up and do it and get it over with, because I'm done with this. Like, it's so freaking annoying. I don't understand why people just cannot leave people alone. Like, it's so weird. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so I remember what I was gonna talk about. It was the money situation. So I remember during that time, because if you remember, like I just said that I was like going to the bank the first time that I noticed that something weird was going on. So I was keeping cash on me at that time for whatever reason. I don't know. Again, divine intervention. Something was telling me to keep some cash on me. So there was a few occasions where I'd gone to different stores where I lucked up because they were like, oh, this is what I was trying to get at. Yeah. So they were like, their machines shut down. So they're like, they would go on like on the overhead and say, anybody who's paying by debit or credit, unfortunately our machines are down right now, you know, we don't know when they're going to be back up, but if you're paying in cash, then you know, whatever. So people are fussing and whatever, and they have to put all their stuff back, but lucky for me I had cash, so I could pay. And like I was saying in another video, that one of the what is it called, one of the emergency kit things that they were saying is to have money, like I don't know how much, but whatever suits you, to have money on hand just in case. Because imagine if there is like an outage and you can't access the bank machines, or you can't access your money, and all you have are cards and everybody's machines are shut down. Like, what are you going to do? You know, is it going to be like back to the bartering system? Like, hey, I got, you know, some eggs at my house. But then even with that, like if the power goes out, what do you do with your food? Like, isn't it going to spoil? So again, that goes back to the whole camping thing. Like, maybe that's the reason why I'm seeing the camping thing, because maybe I need to get like a cooler and get like some of those like ice pack things, not like the like water, of course, but like, you know, those little frozen packs that you can put in like little lunch bags and stuff like that. And they have like the larger ones, like maybe get stuff like that to put in a cooler so your stuff doesn't spoil. And like how I just saw that commercial, like I said, just before I started recording, it was talking about how long you can leave your food out before it spoils or it's not safe for you to eat. So I definitely believe that I'm getting some sort of like message, but it's not really, I don't know, whoever's trying to play with my intuition is like throwing me off a little bit. That's what they want, but it'll come, you know, whatever way, like whatever message I'm supposed to receive, it'll come clear when it's time. But I just wanted to share that story because I felt like something clearly is going on. And I feel like the people who are tapped in or who can tap in, they're all tapping into the same information. So there has to be something that's pending, impeding. Something's coming. I don't know what it is though. And I'm still wondering too, like all these like forest fires and fires everywhere. Like I remember first when this, I think it started in Newfoundland or something like that. And then it just like spread, and it's now like everywhere. Like everywhere's experiencing like all these like forest fires and stuff. And I'm just like, what is that now? It's so weird too. Do you ever notice that how like whenever someone like I think I mentioned this before, if someone says that there's like locusts in some part of the world, everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. But floods, fires, hurricanes and stuff, nobody says it's the end of the world. It's like, oh, it's just the weather, or it's, what do you call it? Whatever that other thing is called. I can't remember. Yeah, just like the ozone layer or something like that. They'll like blame it on, how we're treating the planet and stuff like that. But for some reason, is if it's something that's like explicitly stated in the Bible, even though floods and fires are in the Bible, they don't think about it biblically. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty much all I want to share. I'm sorry I don't have that much energy, and that was a little bit all over the place, but I thought it was something that would be worth sharing because I feel like something is probably going to happen. I don't know when. If I get that sort of information, I'll be sure to pass it along if there is something going on, but I just don't know why everybody's talking about it right now. And even with the messages that I'm getting personally, I feel like it is related to something. So I don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, everybody keep their eyes open and just stay prepared. So if you need to start saving some money in case anything happens and you can't access your money, or if you might be without money or without a job because, what if something happens again where people are out of work and people needed money at that time? A lot of people were closing their businesses and stuff. It's a good idea to start saving money because if something does come up, we have to learn from past experiences. So you might want to start saving and just having, like, being prepared for, again, like a camping situation. If you were to go camping, what are some things besides the toilet paper? Because I know everybody was so lost on the idea of toilet paper, but it didn't really go over my head that way because I'm thinking that's one of the major things. If I was to go camping, I would want toilet paper because I'm not wiping my butt with a leaf. Like it's not happening. But even besides that, like it was weird because people were so focused on the toilet paper, but it's like water was gone. Feminine hygiene products were gone, like everything was gone. It wasn't just toilet paper, but I guess toilet paper was like, for some reason people were confused about that, but I'm like, well duh, like how else are you supposed to wipe yourself? Like, but anyway, yeah, so that's it. Hopefully I'm not scaring anybody or making anybody worry about something you don't need to worry about, but I just thought I would just, add my little experience that I feel like I was being guided with something earlier, but again, I wasn't being obedient about it. And even now, it's like I'm not being disobedient, but I'm just like, what is this? Is this like a personal message for me, or is it like something that's going to happen globally? Regardless, it's something I would obviously need to prepare myself for because that pandemic, I definitely handled on my own. Like I had no help, I had no support. I had family members that literally had Costco cards and they didn't even offer to get me anything. So I had to like figure out everything on my own. So at least now I have kind of a heads up if that's what's happening for me. Like, okay, if you're going to have to go through it by yourself, then, start preparing yourself now so that you don't have to, whatever. Anywho, that's it. Hope y'all are doing well. And again, peace and blessings till next time. Bye.